Blah. So, give me some likes out there, people who are listening.
Like it up.
One, got one
Hit
like.
that thumb. Put a
Yeah,
comment down there.
hit that thumb. Yeah. So, how did you do last night on your stream? It was you did like you had 700 chats.
I
700.
I know. I had the chat was blowing up. Everybody seemed to be having a good time. I had like 80 people stop through, which is like mind blowing for my channel. It was really awesome, and we seemed to have a good time. I kind of went through stuff, and
Yeah, you got 100,
Tobin,
104
to,
views.
yeah, Tobin was really cool, and then we actually had a demon show up, and that was really cool. And then
Yeah, the
Deconverted
man
Man,
joined in, and it sounded something like this.
Deconverted Man stopped by for a minute, and he sent me a message. He said his elbow feels a little better, so hopefully we helped him out.
Yeah, I listened to the entire thing, uh, everything. I was there the whole time. I fell asleep a couple times, but I gotta admit,
How's how's your hair today? Are you
I got
lustrous?
the bottom of my feet are just full of hair. Like, I don't know what the hell you did, but it's starting to grow out of the bottom of my feet. I kind of wanted it on top of my head,
I
but
wasn't. Well, I tried to mention, for all of us that are a little thin on top, but
yeah,
maybe I didn't word it right.
when you drew that demon thing, you forgot one little slash on the J, and
Yeah, I noticed that.
I think
I
that
was
was
like,
it.
I know that,
He
but
totally,
well, Tobin had his good though, so
yeah, he totally fucked up.
I know I
Anyway,
did. I saw that and when I rewatched it, and I was like, oh man, I totally screwed that up. But
hey,
see, I I, uh, I'm a beginner here, and I repeated over and over that I apologized if I was screwing anything up. So hopefully I got a pass. I really was trying really hard, and yeah, I missed that one little dash on there, and I was like, what a bonehead.
and no telling what the fuck you summoned.
I know.
And who was the demon that came on? Did you know him on the lower left?
It, it's either Azo or BS, one or the other.
Okay, wow, it was good. It was funny.
I think it's BS, but then I was like, well, maybe that's Azo.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
I've
good.
seen the demon before, and I'm trying to place where. So
Yeah, he was hilarious.
it was it was appreciated. I always appreciate somebody
I
being
wonder how
evil.
many fundamentalist Christians we scared the hell out of, or you
Yeah,
scared the hell out of just by doing it.
yeah.
They,
Because remember that time um, somebody said something like they'd rather serve Satan or whatever, when we were talking about something, probably, the problem of evil. And then Sal Cordova got all, oh no, they called
Some
down Satan from their live stream, and he just got all butt hurt,
that
and
was Amy Newman that did that, and
yeah,
yeah,
and that was one of the best live streams we ever did. And Sal got all butt hurt and used that as an excuse to denounce us and not have anything else to do,
yeah,
with the channel anymore.
that's the number one thing that he cites when he talks about how bad I am. Other than that, I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic and a high school dropout. You know,
So I wonder
I
how many people got spiritual diarrhea over your summoning.
I got one comment. I don't know if it was serious or not. Something about rebuking what I was doing. So
oh
I
really?
Oh
I
yeah,
said
yeah.
I said please wait till after the aliens show up. So
I
Yeah,
would like
yeah.
some sort of diagram of what it how do you rebuke what somebody is doing, and where the rebuking is? I mean, I know like you rebuke the wind, and Jesus or somebody rebuked the wind and it stopped or something. I don't know, that language of rebuke is just kind of weird to me. But then again, the whole thing is weird.
Well, like I said, I was doing it like a science experiment. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I did
I
tune
didn't
into
want to.
your after show where you were looking across the horizon.
Yeah, I went out.
Backyard.
I
Well,
found,
okay, this guy does follow up. This
Yeah.
is
I went out.
journalism.
I went out and I hung out for a while, let my eyes get adjusted and everything, because Hugh said if you walk outside and see something, your eyes aren't adjusted. So I hung out for a while, fed the fish, and all
I
that.
went out during
And
the
I turned the
show.
camera on. So
I went out and checked during the show. I went out and looked for aliens, for UFOs, because I wanted to be. I mean, I put some emotional oomph into it. I mean, I tried to summon demons last night with you. I mean, I was like into it. I even had some tea. I won't tell you what I put in the tea, but I had some tea.
yeah, I was that was the thing. So that's why I like to be studied up before I do something. But in this case, I just didn't want to study up on anything because I wanted to go in cold. I wanted to go in just like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but today I'm going to decide, you know what, I want to see a UFO, so I'm going to play with this Ouija board, and Hugh says one's going to show up. So that's what I did.
Yeah, they all agree that even if you dabble in this stuff for fun or for entertainment, that it will bring
Right.
on the demons, right?
Because, yeah, Hugh said that somebody told him that they had spoons floating in the air. I don't know what was going on. And they had a Ouija board party. And, that's a bunch of people, having fun,
Well, I can't
not taking
wait
it
till
too
the
serious.
link to that video of those spoons in the air gets here. I'm sure it's on Hugh's website or channel somewhere.
And there's always the convenience of he only goes to people's homes or to countries where there are no cameras around for some
Right.
reason.
See that? The pen floating in the air.
Ooh, man. I got to go buy me a pearl necklace so I can clutch it.
Yeah. Yep, that happens.
But I'll tell you what, the best thing of the whole stream was that little candle that came in the witching kit there.
Oh,
That
the
thing
smell of it?
smells.
Yeah.
That thing smells so wonderful.
Oh,
It
man.
is.
You really triggered me, man.
It does. I was like, wow, that is
No, because I
one
don't
of the
have
best smelling candles I've ever smelled.
I have no sense. I have no sense of smell, and like I was
Ah.
just so mad at you, man. It's like, yeah,
Oh, I
rubbing
smelled it for
in,
you.
man.
I smelled it for you.
Well, what did it
I-
smell like? Because, like, how would you describe it?
I said it smells like your wife out of the shower when she's used all those
Okay.
different lotions and
Okay.
and it's just a really light, flowery, clean smell. It's just wonderful smell.
Yeah, I remember what that was like.
It was like when you smell it, you're just like, wow, and you just want to smile. It's just, wow, that's that nice smell.
Vijaya. Yeah, Planet Vijaya.
Yeah. So, but I had a lot of fun, and I am going to do a follow up. I'm going to look up and do a little read up on the tarot cards and the Ouija board and everything. But
James, go.
that wasn't the plan. So I hope everybody understood what the plan was. That I opened the stuff up and checked it out. So. And I was hoping nobody had ever done that before, because there are people that do tarot card readings and all kind of stuff online, but I don't think anybody ever kind of took it as, okay, we're going to check this out and we're going to put it up against what somebody else claims and see what happens. So,
Well, the reason that Hugh Ross and Christians are really into the aliens lately, and AIG has been running articles on them and everything, is because they're really afraid that with this new telescope, we're going to find evidence of life on other planets. And they're getting ready to push the narrative that no, it's not another race of beings that God loves. and forgot to send Jesus to. It's they're actually demons and spirits.
It's
So
the demon and spirit planets.
right, so they're already getting ready to push that fucking narrative, and they're ramping up, and that's the only way they can explain it, because according to the Bible, God made just man in his own image and sent his only begotten son to this one fucking planet. So if we end up with another planet, they got a problem. They're going to have a problem explaining their new Christianity. And they're going to be like, oh, these woke ministers, they just want to believe that the aliens are real and that, all this shit.
When he spoke to different people, I'm not going to say specific, but folks like Pat Robertson, because he had been on Pat Robertson before. When he's on the very religious channels or news or whatever it might be, whatever media, he is a lot more in the spiritual battle and Jesus and everything. But then you notice when he tries to talk science, he doesn't talk that stuff so much. So it depends what audience he's talking to on what you hear him say.
Now, a few years ago, one of the cable channels, this was back before streaming was popular, did a thing on like, what if they discover life, intelligent life on another planet? And one speculation that was made out of that was that the Mormon Church would see a rise in their membership, because they would gain credibility, because they've been teaching that people, from the
Get their
Mormon
own
Church get to be gods of their own planets if
Right.
they do the Mormon thing right.
So there's got to be a lot of life on other planets, right? Because a lot of Mormons have died.
Yeah, or at least a lot of planets that can support human life. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always demons, so
Yeah, interesting.
everything's
Yeah,
demons.
I know that was the answer for ghosts and psychic activity back in the 70s / 80s, just the 70s, I think. Yeah, when I started going to church and became a fundamentalist, premillennial dispensational, landmark missionary Baptist.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And I had to mention Greg Locke, because I went around with him years ago, and he hates tarot cards.
Apparently he hates owls too.
Yeah, the owl statues is a new thing. Yeah. So, but the tarot cards, he said the witches were leaving them under the wood chips in his tent, and I was just, I was laughing so hard that he's got wood chips in his tent.
He's just trying to create attention.
I mean, how cheap can he be? You know what I mean? He's socking away, good coin, and he's still got a tent. He can't even put up a building or
the overhead,
buy a vacant building or something.
Yeah, it's expensive. So why not have a good old revival tent that reminds you of the camp meeting days of years ago?
Well, he doesn't have the wood chips anymore. He put down AstroTurf or something, so they couldn't hide the tarot cards.
Well, they ought to do like I don't know if y'all know that restaurant Logan's, where you can just toss the peanut shells on the floor.
Yeah.
And you walk around on peanut shells. They might as well do that. Kind of have a circus atmosphere, because that's definitely what I pick up on whenever I see anything from.
Every time I see his tent, I hear deet 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 deet.
Yeah.
So what do you got, Mike, for us?
Well, okay, JG the other day did this stream. None of you poo fingers want to talk about the philosophical theory of evolution.
The philosophical theory?
Yeah, and I couldn't figure it out because, well, I guess he does. He actually does get on here and start talking that, but it took him forever. Like it was an hour and 28 minutes, hour and 32 minutes before he actually started to run a stream. And then he was going on about evolution. And then today he sniped some guy's stream, and it turned out to be this Billy Bob character. And I've been checking into it, trying to get a handle on Bill Bob, or whatever the fuck, JimBob? Yeah, JimBob, Bill Bob. I like to call him Bill Bob. Anyway, JimBob is a conspiracy theorist, I think, who got 589 views in the last hour, and he's got 12.5K subscribers. We are in the wrong fucking business.
Yeah, where's our other 584 viewers?
Yeah, what the fuck? So anyway, but I thought I'd give it a listen, and what I ran into is this part right here, which kind of like I have some things to say about. But he's talking about new AI, scientism, and more. And he goes after Richard Dawkins, and he does this kind of funny imitation of Dawkins, with his voice and stuff, and just basically makes fun of Dawkins for a half an hour.
Yeah.
But anyway, this part here, I'll play.
Let's take a look at this here. This whale stuff. It's really absurd, by the way. This is older, so I don't know, if their animations changed since then. But this is like a little video about a whaley whale. This is my favorite example, by the way. I mean, let's take a look at the account of evolution. Can you guys hear this? I don't even know if there's sound, actually. I don't hear sound. Hold on a second. Let's take a look here. Yeah.
Just go. Come on. I'm gonna have to jockey ahead here.
Be funny getting you want an animal that I've never seen before that's a mixture of like a dog, an elephant and an elk, and you want it running into the water? And then what? Then what do you want? What's happening? Man, tell me what's happening, please. Maybe there's
Why
no
doesn't he just freaking read a book or
I don't know.
watch?
Well,
I've
yeah,
seen all sorts of videos on the topic.
If
It
he
doesn't
weren't
have to
such-
be an old one. I've seen recent videos on the topic.
If he weren't such an idiot, I would tell him what's happening. But
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need sound. I mean, look at this. So this is their account. Yeah, rat, whale, horse, giraffe goes into the water.
this is the
And
account.
how many million? They should at least have a timeline here. What's the amount of years we're talking about here? It's swimming around. Wouldn't it need to be like just like dab its toe in the water first?
Right. So
I've seen plenty of actual dogs in the water not dabbing their toes.
yeah, well,
It's probably food. That's your primary thing. There was a food source, so it was in the water.
so look inside of his tiny little head. He thinks there was a population of some kind of animal that sat around dabbing their toe in the water, and then and this is what he thinks evolution is. It was dabbing its toe in the water, and then it got a mutation, and then it put 2 toes in the water, and then 3 toes, and that's what he's talking about. And it's like, okay, you fucking idiots,
Yeah,
stop trying to criticize evolution after you've read a book.
Pressures and
Ignorant-
selection.
ignoramus.
Yeah, the simplest way is pressures and selection. That's evolution.
Yeah.
So the pressure was there ain't no food over here, but there's food over there. So they went over there, and then they were selected for.
Well, and I don't know for sure, but like there's a species of felid or a cat related creature. I saw a video about it just the other day, and of course I can't remember the name. But what it does is it stays usually a certain distance away from a riverbank or a creek bank, and as soon as there is any indication that a predator might be around, and it's a cat, it's like one of the only aquatic cat species.
Oh, it runs in the water.
It jumps into the water,
Yeah.
and its solution to evade predators is to stay in the water as long as possible. It's got a kind of a long tolerance for holding its breath. And it's just amazing to think, there are all sorts of definite advantages for a large to medium-sized critter to stay in the water to either evade predators or to be a predator, and sneak up from the bank or just grab fish as they go along. I don't know what kind of environment these creatures had when they were still in one of their land dwelling phases or non-ocean dwelling phases. It's fascinating, and it's sad that that people like this Jim Bob try to capitalize on ignorance to feed and make people feel justified in their own ignorance of the science of evolution.
Yeah.
And the wondrous diversity, because you've got a species that doesn't like water, but one of them said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah. Johnny is saying in the side chat he thinks it's actual
footage.
all the other gatos were pointing and laughing. Look at the silly gato in the water, and then they got ate.
Well, he
my
thinks
ignorance.
he
on
thinks
this.
that. Go ahead.
Well, don't they think that like whale species have evolved from land dwelling creatures, gone into the water, and actually certain lineages evolved back onto the land?
Yeah.
I recall hearing that, but I haven't studied the topic, which it would be fascinating. I guess I need to do a YouTube search for whale evolution. And
it's never a straight. It's never a straight line. No, yeah.
Right.
Like
yeah.
Mike said, nothing decided to become a whale. You just had all these different lines
there's no actual real direction in evolution. It's just whatever the environment combined with your genetic presentation, how they collide and how survivable a species is. That's all that guides evolution. So yeah, you can go back in the water, you can go up on land, you fly a little, if you have time, you could probably accomplish all of that within some lineage. I know I'll be corrected by actual scientists, but that just seems to be how it goes.
That's what always bothers me. It always bothers me when people say act normal, and it's like, well, what's normal? Isn't diversity normal? I mean, that's the entire animal kingdom and plant kingdom and everything is diverse. There's no normal. No, normal doesn't work. Normal drives you to extinction usually because you get stuck somewhere.
And it's spelled rim job. Anyway, there are a population of fish that live in Minnesota here. One of them's called a dogfish or a bowfin. And it can, basically, if you catch it and put it on shore, it'll crawl its way back into the water eventually. And it can live out of water for, I think, 12 to 24 hours. And there's another one called bullhead that can live out of water for a tremendous long time. They apparently have bladders that are somewhat adapted to breathe oxygen. And these things are basically going to be the only fish left in Minnesota when the lakes disappear because of vegetation overgrowth. And with very, very subtle pressures, there will be mutations that allow them to start adapting to be a land-based animal, I believe, or a bog-based animal anyway. But I mean, this is happening all the time, this diversity. But anyway, this guy thinks that this video makes you a PhD in evolutionary biology. If you just watch this video, you get a PhD in evolutionary biology. This is all you got to know. But let's play. It's a pretty short clip. Let's play the rest of it.
Oh no! Now it's going. Now it doesn't even need to. Oh, it needs to breathe. Has sharp teeth, and now it's gonna go deeper into the water. And the deepness of the water is like, you better change. You better change into a croco whale. Oh, you're going to swim deep. Oh, it ate a fish now. It's a new kind of animal. Look at that. Still needs breath, though. I wonder when the blowhole emerges. And now it's
read a fucking book, you idiot.
Yeah,
They
learn
will
to
tell
swim
you.
Oh, that's a quick jump.
It
That's-
didn't
that
emerge;
was
it moved.
jump. I don't know. They should have They should at least put the amount of years, because that was. I mean, that was that. I mean, is that supposed to be like 50,000 years? Is it 1,000,000 years?
I think it's around 10 to 30 million or something. And
30
there's
some, I think. Yeah.
controversy, yeah. Yeah, anyway.
I mean, how did it get the white belly? What is that all about? And, you know,
My cats have white bellies. And they didn't have that when before they were bred for basically that sort of shit. Anyway, this is the kind of stupid shit that they think in their heads when they think about evolution. And they don't know all of the massive amount of detail that you have to learn before you get your mind around how these populations turn and evolve. And I just think this is just so fucking sad that we've got like a seemingly intelligent person spewing this fucking garbage on YouTube. And then we've got 549 views in an hour of people lapping it up. And then he's got some other conspiracy shit. There's a part at the end that kind of tells you a little bit about where these guys are at. I don't know too much about them. Why are you buffering? Why are you buffering?
Well, I wanted to say when he said, "How did the blowhole emerge?" That's
Yeah.
just the sinus just moved up there.
They have like
Just
intermediate species all over the place with blowholes changing
Yeah.
location, the nostrils.
And it's the
And
same thing with human fetuses and stuff. When our everything moves around from when we used to be fish, that everything moves around, and then like I found out when I did my one video, that's why you've got that little dimple and right up under your nose there in your lip, because you're a fish.
Yeah. Yeah, just good enough to survive from one generation to another. And the thing is for your nostrils to change their place on the face, when you understand embryology, it does not take all that many mutations. It can happen in regulatory regions of genes. It can happen with chromatin remodeling. It can happen in a number of different ways very easily. So those changes were likely to have appeared in a population in very small increments and possibly even a larger leap. And it's just really easy to visualize when you read the fucking book. You got to read the book. Forget to read the book. Anyway, check this out. Scott, your impression was flat earther, right? They also talk about Luciferianism, and they talk about the Illuminati at one point, but I think he's like kind of a nutcake. But let's see. Oh, it's going to buffer on me. What are you doing?
Yeah, people I think have seem to subscribe whatever to multiple
Crouching guys
conspiracy
now.
theories.
Yeah,
Okay. What now?
Well, I'm just saying that
Scott's
people
correct.
often subscribe to multiple conspiracy theories. Like you may do flat Earth or young Earth creationism as your introductory starter conspiracy, but then you know the flat Earth and the Illuminati and deep the shadow government or whatever.
Yeah.
They all kind of go into someone's belief system after a while. It's just kind of a spiral.
Yeah, and they were also going off on the boomer generation, how they changed from the hippies of the 60s. And I'm not sure what their point was, but it was kind of like we've all been brainwashed somehow by the Illuminati. I don't know what the fuck. I'm gonna have to listen to this a little more carefully, but just listen to this part.
starting to come into understanding of how things work on a deeper level. So I was just going to run that by you. I feel like they're going to basically say that aliens put a dome around the Earth, and then we'll have to go to war with them. I think that's what they're going to do.
That would be interesting. If I think they'll
Done.
they'll
Now there's Benno, they're not explaining it anymore. It's over. Yeah.
yeah, I think they'll discover it, right? They of course they have to take ownership over discovering it, but they'll call it something else. Like they've actually toyed with this in some previous articles in the last 10 years that they like discovered some shield. So I'll try to find the article by the next stream, but some sort of like shield thing, but they're not going to call it a firmament. They're not going to call it a dome. They're going to call it some sort of like unknowable magnetic like barrier or something, right? And so I think I think you're right. I think they're going to do it, and they're going to have to be pretty crafty on how they.
Yeah, who the fuck are these people that are doing this and being crafty, and they have this grand plan to explain away the firmament? Is that what he's thinking?
Yeah, like firmament and magnetic field are two totally different concepts from two totally different cultures separated by millennia.
Yeah.
So,
It's the
Anyway,
they. It's the they. It's
this
always
guy's
the
a
they.
yeah.
piece of fucking work.
I don't know where the they hang out, but you got to watch out for the they.
What happened to James Epperson?
I don't know. Maybe he smelled science in the water,
Oh no!
decided to
no.
bail on us, or he said something about having to get his mic ready before, but maybe he's having mic issues. I don't know.
So James did a couple of blogs. Let's see. This one is in reply to this image a Christian fundamentalist objected. And then he did another one over here, which is someone finally explained Christianity to me, and I returned the favor. And James is going to do some streams tomorrow on this, I think. So I'm going to link his blogs in my description because I want to. Let's see here. Okay. I want to do that. So there's that. Anyway, what else we got? Ooh, we got that guy.
Tobin.
And I want to say, yeah, that all goes in the circle too, because the UFOs and the aliens, which are really demons, are telling people to not follow Jesus anymore and to form a one world religion of peace and love and taking care of the earth.
Yeah, look at this fucker selling his book for $40. Jesus Christ.
Frankly, I would be much more happy with a one world zero religion.
$40.
Well, it's always they have to put up the spiritual battle that everything's against Christians. So I couldn't find anything where the aliens are against Christians. The only ones that seem to be saying that are the groups that Ross runs in. So I don't know where they're getting it from. So what I found was a lot of people that see UFOs become spiritual. Some even find religion and believe in a God. So I found the opposite. So the way I figured it is that's usually the way it goes. If you find the exact opposite, they're somehow reading it 180. It's like global warming is global cooling. It's like, are you holding your thermometer upside down?
I don't know. He's selling a lot of stuff. He's got stickers and
Unreal.
he's got all kinds of stuff he's selling.
Well, I ain't knocking anybody for making a buck, but
Yeah.
the people, are they doing it for the lulls or?
This is just not going to work out. Growth and comfort. I don't know. I have to know more about this man before I pick on him too much. But his take on Richard Dawkins and evolution kind of pissed me off. Dawkins, not exactly my hero, but anyway. So
Yeah, these wackadoodles and creationists think we admire Richard Dawkins more than we actually do. Maybe more people admired him deeply, last decade, maybe
2 decades ago. Yeah.
But I don't think because of his unwillingness to adjust himself to current culture, he's definitely fallen out of favor with so many missteps that he's made. He still gets a good, I think, a good lecture circuit or interview circuit or whatever, but not near as much as he used to.
Yep.
I admire the body of knowledge because of all the
Yeah,
hours
yeah.
so many people put into it. And whenever I hear from a creationist, prove evolution to me, and it's like, I don't have to. We got libraries full of how many, 150 years worth of biology stuff gone through, and there you go, man. I mean, it's like a warehouse size building. Check it out. There's a lecture series. Well, actually, there's several lecture series on evolution. You can get free college courses on evolution. One of them I know of is from Yale University.
Oh yeah.
And when anybody asks me this, and I say, hey, here you go. You can get a free course. You want me to watch 30 lectures? Well, no, I don't expect you to watch 30 lectures because you're not even going to watch one of them, probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was watching. It was on YouTube, and I could probably find the playlist if I needed to. But it was a really good college level lecture series on evolution.
and how much would that cost if you paid for it, right?
Yeah, it was great.
It's free. It's
And
free.
Bad information is everywhere, but good information is everywhere, and it's not that hard to find the good stuff. If you just use a little bit of common sense and step out of the conspiracy spiral for a few seconds, you'll find it.
On other news, AIG here found out that Paw Patrol spin-off features first non-binary character. And
Oh,
they're
right.
losing their
I heard
shit.
about this. Yeah.
My oldest
Everybody
grandson
is.
really loves Paw Patrol.
Matt Walsh is losing his nut over it too.
Yeah. Well, there's this TV series called Strange Planet that I started watching, which I really like. And they use they, them, and their pronouns for everybody.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh yeah, and
Oh, no,
it's the end
not
of the
that.
world as we know it. But this thing is just incredible. I mean, it's just really cool.
Jitter liquid,
No.
please.
Would you like to jitter for 1, 2, or 5 hours? Describe your current level of activity.
90% below average.
Give me that mild poison!
1, 2, 3.
I'll let you two talk while I go over here and pretend not to listen. Irony. Is that irony?
I'm never sure.
Anyway, they call alcohol mild poison, and my favorite is they call cats vibrating creatures. It's like, purr. And it's just really cute, and they just very naturally use they, their, them pronouns on each other. It's really kind of cool, but anyway, so AIG on Paw Patrol. Yes,
We have a JimBob witness here.
Yeah, I had somebody tell me, I don't like when they tell me to use their pronouns. And it's like, okay.
So, Leo, you know JimBob. So what the fuck is his story, Leo? I'd like to know because
He's got to be a creationist.
he sure had a shitty opinion of evolution. Anyway, so we have a non-binary character named, I haven't read this, an animated person who identifies as neither male nor female. Oh my God. Oh my God. The end of the world as we know it. The indoctrination of children as young toddlers continues. Let's see, becoming difficult for parents to find entertainment or even educational content for the children that doesn't incorporate LGBTQ themes. But now, what I did notice about this article is they very quickly talk about they try to sell you books that basically guarantee you we're not going to indoctrinate your kids at all, right? Kids Answers, it's still included with your Answers magazine subscription. I am a subscriber, and I do get the Answers magazine. So don't despair, moms and dads. In the midst of the darkness, we have a thing that's going to talk to you about some dude who died on a cross for your sins, and rode around on dinosaurs before
One
he
of their
died. Yeah.
one of Ken's top people is Georgia Purdom, and Georgia Purdom has used the but. I have the quote somewhere. She said pretty much this is what her quote is: "I would never discriminate against anybody for the color of their skin, but when it comes to homosexuals,
Oh,
that is one of their top people at AIG. So that pretty much lets you know where they stand on it."
Yeah, so I think his whole thing is selling his fucking books. These guys make, I think, around over $100 million a year in revenue. I think they get 100 million in donations alone, and they probably make another 100 selling this crap to children.
Did you get Dan's latest email?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
He's got a new post out. He's long been saying that Ken Ham has friends with deep pockets, and apparently one of them is the owner of not Coca-Cola, because there's a separate division, which is the bottling division. That's the one, I guess, gives Ken Ham a lot of money, and why Ken Ham sells what at his park? Coca-Cola.
Ooh, nice.
So the Dan has discovered one of the deep pockets is seems to be a guy from the. Now I'm saying again, this is the separate division of the company. It's not the Coca-Cola company, but
Atlantic Bottling Company.
whatever it's a separate thing. That person is one of the deep pockets that's friends with Ken Ham. So check your email. He just sent it out, and he posted on it on his stuff on Facebook too. Just I think just today.
Yeah, he didn't send it to me.
I'll forward it to you if you. I'll go do that right now.
Okay, good man. You're a good man. But okay, so we got this bullshit. What else we got here? Follow Ken. Oh, why would I want to do that?
why don't we say James Apperson 3 times and see if he appears?
James Apperson. James Apperson.
James Apperson.
Paw Patrol spinoff feature. Okay, what else we got here? Ken Ham's daily email. Where's his daily blog? Ken Ham's video updates. Ken's resources. Oh, Ken's blog. Here it goes. Here's Ken's blog. You know,
his name, by the way, is Frank Harrison III, CEO of Coca-Cola Consolidated.
Okay. Frank
And I sent you the email.
Third. Okay.
Because his attendance numbers are not going way up. They either hold steady or they drop.
Yeah.
Yet he's expanding, building a hotel and all this stuff and everything. And it's like that can't be his revenue. He's got deep pocket friends.
Oh, James isn't Otangelo. We can't summon. Otangelo, I had a conversation with him. He's got another book.
Yep.
He's got a bunch of books, actually, I think, on Amazon.
He was on SJ's channel promoting it, and a little bit. He didn't really talk about it much. They kind of laughed about it at the end of the video. I was supposed to be on here promoting my book. Yeah, well, because you start talking too much, Otangelo.
Yeah, it's something called what the fuck, DNA Nexus or something. It's a bunch of shit about intelligent design. I've got a copy here. He has a copy on his Catsborg blog, so you don't actually have to buy the damn thing. Anyway, let's see. Thurston Howell III, but more thirsty. Yes. I didn't leave that. I hate when people don't leave things up long enough for people watching their video to read it. It's one of my pet peeves. The other pet peeve is people that play audio that goes too fast, right, Dave?
I explained that
I know you explained it, but
I just wanted folks to know that that is what the words. Okay, yeah, those are the words. And then when I did my version, I tried to enunciate and speak clearly and give the detailed version. So
Yeah.
I thought it would be just too long and monotonous if I basically repeated it. So
Here it is.
and if you notice near the end, it gets faster and faster because I just thought it was more and more nonsense. So if you pay attention, as it goes along, I kept cranking the speed up and up and up. So by the end, he was almost going.
Look at this right here. Coca-Cola Consolidated.
There it is.
It's the Ark Encounter.
There it is. There's one. There's the money. At least one of the monies.
Coca-Cola for our drink products.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit. I like that Coke so much.
And if folks don't know in the audience who Dan Phelps is a science educator, and Dan Phelps is down in the area in Kentucky, and he's been a thorn in Ken Ham's side for a long time. He's the one that puts in for public information requests, so we know the attendance numbers, and he releases those every month. And he's also the one that wrote the government and the city and everything about the whole tax break issue that they were getting and all that stuff. So Dan is always behind the scenes keeping an eye on Ken Ham. And Ken Ham does not like Dan Phelps one bit. So everybody, cheer on Dan Phelps. He's a good man. And
what son of a bitch is from Australia? Couldn't we build a wall to keep shit like that out of this country? I don't know.
Well, that's the guy he just brought in too, to kind of run things.
Yeah.
Is a hate preacher from Australia.
Yep. What is modern monogamy?
Again, if you want to know where they lean, Ken brought in a hate preacher to kind of take over things instead of, somebody from within that's been with him for years and years and years and years. He went and found this guy because this guy says a lot of hate speech that Ken Ham likes. So,
I think we need to probably not really think in terms of a wall. Maybe like a catapult, just to catapult him back to Australia.
Right.
Because if you build a wall, then that would keep Margot Robbie out as much as Ken Ham, and I don't know that we can give up Margot Robbie.
Okay.
Mark Reed apologized, but he said they won't take him back.
Oh yeah.
Well, the catapult would have to flip him upside down before it send him back. Otherwise,
yeah. I think that's how they work.
Yeah. Okay. What is modern monogamy? In other words, it's yet another perversion of God's very good design of one man and one woman. I tried that twice in my life, and it's really a fucked up design.
If you actually mean like serial monogamy, a word that's been
like
used in culture for quite a while.
Yeah, I tried marriage twice. I didn't like it. It didn't work out for me.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, it didn't work out for me. Okay, another puff piece from the USA Today. Modern monogamy is a term sometimes used to speak to a dynamic where an individual prefers an exclusive partnership with another person, but understands relationships as impermanent or seasonal.
And don't skip over that VBS. You want to talk about indoctrination? VBS is Vacation Bible School curriculum.
Oh, learn
so
more.
that is the stuff that he wants the kids to be getting when they're not in school is vacation Bible stuff.
Give kids answers to their questions. What are the questions?
He puts a lot of money into that every year, and they sell the program. So you get all the cardboard cutouts and the banners and the T-shirts in a package, and then you put it on at your church for vacation.
Evangelical churches had vacation Bible schools long before there was an internet, long before Ken Ham ever crossed the ocean and infested the United States. They were an open market, especially for denominational publishers. At first, that's all you could really get was your denomination's vacation Bible school, and then a few companies kind of went independent and started providing independently sourced vacation Bible school material for your non-denominational type churches. And then, these special interest groups decided, hey, we'll come up with our own curriculum. And yeah, there's a lot of money to be, because that's a market that's just ready made.
Oh yeah,
And it
he's got a
happens every
whole.
year. It gives mamas something to do with the kids when the kids are out of school for the summer, either in the evenings or the mornings, depending on how your stuff does it.
He's got like a whole department that some of his top people are
Yeah,
involved in.
Vacation
yeah,
Bible School, like for the Southern Baptists, Texas Baptists, the Southern Baptist Convention, they used to have, well, the Lifeway Christian stores began as Baptist bookstores.
And if you want to know how much he's selling, Ken loves to put up pictures of all the stuff that's being shipped out of the warehouse. You can see how much of that stuff's being shipped out.
Yeah, and then there's IBLP, that Basic Life. It's the Institute in Basic Life Principles. They put out a lot of this garbage, but you guys have grandkids and stuff, and children. The very first question.
Not me.
The very first question that kids want answered is, was Noah's Ark real? That's the first thing kids ask. When I run into a little kid, they come up to me on the street and they ask me, was Noah's Ark real? I mean, like when I was 8 years old and I was in Sunday school and they talked about Noah's Ark, I just said, nope, not real.
Yeah,
It ain't real.
My boys don't seem to have any interest in procreating.
Every Halloween.
And I just found out my uncle's in his end days, so the tree over on this end has got this one little sorry ass branch, and that's me.
Oh, you're the sorry ass branch.
I'm the one that's going to be left with my uncle. Is getting in-home hospice, so I'm, he's very elderly though. I mean, obviously he was my dad's brother.
How old is
he? Is my dad's passed away. However you use it. He's got to be 80s.
Okay,
that's my dad's been gone for about 10 years or something.
Fuck. I'm gonna be that in 10 years. You guys are gonna give up on me in 10 years. Fuck you guys.
Wow, that kind of was a strong self-revelation there. Having some anxiety there, Speed.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Okay. All right. That's legitimate.
You're gonna park me on an ice floe, within 10 years.
There's hope. I saw my neighbor the other day. Sadly, his wife passed away, but
we'll leave a stall in the barn for you.
He's got a Band-Aid on his arm, but 85, 86 or something. He survived getting electrocuted. So
yeah, he was the one that got electrocuted during your show, right?
Yep. I saw the pictures from the hospital. His whole arm was raw, and so was his ear. I mean, raw, like a horror movie. Somebody just peeled the outer layer right off. It was all cooked. It was cooked right off. But 80. I think he's 85, 86, and tough old guy surviving that.
Okay, amid sloths, butterflies, river dolphins, dart frogs, your children will sail along on a fun jungle cruise, stopping at the 7 ports of call. These ports are the 7 C's of history: creation, corruption, catastrophe, confusion, Christ, cross, and consummation. What the fuck is consummation?
That's a big display he has at his I don't know if it's at both places, but I'm pretty sure it's at both his parks. He pushes those 7 C's a lot.
What is consummation, though?
That's basically
the end
of days kind of stuff. Rapture, tribulation.
He gets giddy when he says, he says we don't have to worry about climate change or another flood or anything, because next time it's by fire. And he does that little get up on his toes things. If you notice when he's talking, whenever he's happy, he does that little get up on his toes thing. He does that when he says fire. He's looking forward to the whole earth burning up.
Yeah, he wants us to relive the evangelicalism of 1935 that he just enjoyed so much, I guess.
And you're not going to tell them to do anything about climate change because they just figure if the planet's heating up, it's heating up for a good reason.
We'll see you, doorknob head.
It's going to go up. It's just going to heat up, and then it's going to go up in
Okay.
flames, just like the Bible.
I want to tell you about this book. Okay, so amidst this wonderful fun jungle cruise, they're going to tell kids that, oh, God created this wonderful world, but then there was corruption, catastrophe, and confusion right away. Like within what, 100 years, 50 years, 10 years? How long did no, didn't it take Adam and Eve like a week to eat the fucking apple? Wasn't it like
There's no determination because there's just a period of time where Adam tended the garden and named the animals, but there's not a specific. So
Yeah, I'm thinking it was like
kind of up for debate.
Like, okay, God rested on Sunday, and then on like Thursday, Eve ate the apple. So
Like with Hugh Ross that I was covering, he has long ages where Ken Ham has 24-hour days. So
okay, but then children, on your fun jungle cruise, we nailed this dude up to a cross for 3 days and tortured him, and then
don't forget the flood.
and then consummation, the end of the fucking world. We're gonna die in like this fiery Armageddon kind of thing. Have fun on your little jungle cruise, children. I mean, Jesus Christ, wouldn't a kid be traumatized?
Yes, it's like that tunnel that the Willy Wonka kids went through when they were touring the Willy Wonka factory, and they went down this dark and scary. Yeah, I think it sounds like that to me.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he's all about the Ark. He's the one that has the Ark Park where he built the Ark. He's all about the whole world being flooded and drowned. So
during the time that my mom was sending me to Sunday school in the Presbyterian church, I was traumatized by I had a aunt that died, and I kind of liked to masturbate when I was a kid. And I couldn't do it anymore because I was afraid Auntie was watching me, because that's what they were telling me in church. And it's like, God damn, I was traumatized. I'm still traumatized by that. I mean,
the Esther at the Afro Atheist, she covered that, where there was this kid just traumatized because he didn't understand why he was having these feelings and why he wanted to look at these pictures online. And it's like, because nobody ever explained to him what hormones and being a teenager means, which is why you need sex ed and health classes, because he's a great example of mom and dad never told him. I told my boys, look, you're going to have hormones. You're going to have days where you're up, down. Your voice is going to change. You're going to get hairy, all these things. So they kind of, oh, okay, yep, that's what's happening, like what my dad told me, This kid, no clue why he was horny. No clue at all.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's just no way to raise a child. Like I was watching a couple of videos by and I want to link her channel. She's a former Mennonite, I think, and she does interviews of other Mennonite people. She has a podcast, and she went through so much shit. I mean, they told her how to walk. They told her she couldn't use big words like fantastic. That was too big a word for a woman to use. And she was kind of a wild child, and her parents came from a Hollywood background and moved her into a Mennonite society out in Pennsylvania. And they couldn't stand this girl because, for one thing, she was an attractive young lady, and she had a lot of boys that were interested in her. So they told her she wasn't welcome in 10th grade. They wouldn't let her go to school. And then they told her how to walk, because if a girl walks by moving her hips or swinging her arms, she's attracting males. She's attracting the attention of males. This is Mennonites. And the not all Mennonites are like that. There are some liberal ones, but there is a core of them that is rotten, stinky shit. That somebody, I thought there were laws against what you could do to children as far as emotional abuse, but apparently they're getting away with it because of religious freedom. And this is fucking tragic, man. The shit they do to kids. I've got it somewhere here. Her blog. Let me see if I can find it.
And I guarantee not one of those Mennonite boys is being told, it's because you're full of hormones. You're going to be all horny and goofy and
Yeah.
chase girls and or boys, vice versa.
No, it's
This is what we do. This is what we do at this age.
It's a God-given right, is what they feel. You know that. Oh my God, it's just such sick shit that I can't.
What I always bring up to women evangelicals is that you know that if you get your way, they're going to come after you next, because there's nothing in those books that is going to tolerate you either.
Yeah.
It's good for the men that write that stuff. It's not so good for women or children. Both are seen as chattel in a lot of these big religions.
Oh, let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. Apparently, I didn't put it in my diary. So, anyway, there's some really disgusting stuff, and the next time we get online, I'll try to link her channel, because she has a wonderful podcast and really incredible interviews. Makes you wonder what kind of fucking country we live in, that children are subjected to this kind of torture and pressure. She was almost driven mad by it. I mean, she nearly took her own life, or died of, fucking lack of apathy when she was a teenager, and she recovered from that and she got away from it. Her mother eventually put her foot down and got her into therapy, and she ended up talking to somebody outside the Mennonite community, and sort of guided her into staying alive. Otherwise, the kid would have died. And it was all because she was a brilliant, attractive, rebellious young lady. That was it. That was her crime, her sin, and she couldn't be that way.
Did you hear what Trump was getting cheered on about?
No, what the fuck did he do?
Yeah, if you shoplift, you can expect, as you're on your way out of the store, to be shot.
Oh my God.
That means you're not a threat. Okay, somebody stole something, walked out the door.
Got
He
shot.
wants people to shoot them in the back because they stole something.
Or cut their hand off. I mean, I could, see.
That's what I was going to say. Doesn't it sound a lot for
Yeah. Yeah, let's elect this fucker president again.
And that was what that guy in one of the recent modern day debates was arguing for, that you can't say it's a bad thing to cut off their hands. Teaches them a lesson.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh. Yeah, kind of a little overkill there.
But he's getting cheers. He's getting cheers for this stuff. Yeah, let's shoot him in the back.
So Republicans are supposed to be constitutionally bound. Isn't there something in the Constitution about punishment matching the crime?
Well, no, that was the point. That if you shoplift a candy bar or whatever, shoot them in the back. But if you riot and kill police officer and
capital
and all those other things, make sure that they're nice and comfy in jail. Because did you know what? Jails are not nice places. These January 6 people, you know what? They're not denied unlimited internet time. That was their big complaint.
Oh my God.
They only got a couple hours online a day.
They should never be online with their fucking...
Well, no, that would be cruel and unusual. But all those things always apply in jail, is that you're allowed certain amount of stuff, but everything is limited. No, this idea of, well, just give them a laptop and they can hang out all day and talk to their lawyer and the news and everybody else. And but the rest of them, we're just going to shoot them in the back because they shoplifted something. It's like, okay, you know what you sound like.
I don't know. I'm concerned.
Well, he doesn't want a court system. He doesn't like the court system. You can tell he doesn't like the court system because he was just in the court. Well, he's in the court system almost every day lately. He doesn't like the court system. He wants swift justice. He has repeated it numerous times. He loves President Xi of China because he has swift justice. Swift justice. Take care of it right now. Forget that jury and court and witnesses and evidence and no, we don't like the way that one looks. There you go, problem solved.
Okay, there's a YouTube channel called Cults to Consciousness, and they interviewed I forget what her name is, Jasper. Her name is Jasper, the lady on the screen, and it's a really good interview, and I'll link this video, and it talks about what happened to her as a child and how she escaped the Mennonite crazies. Let's see if I can find my video description.
Paula Gia was Mennonite.
Yeah, there's all sorts of, there are more liberal groups, but they do weird shit. Like what they did to her is she had some really close friends, and they didn't want her near her friends, so they would arrive in the middle of the night, pack the kids up, and send them to another Mennonite camp somewhere, and basically they isolated her so that she had nothing left but her horse, and they tried to take her horse, but she convinced them that she would probably be a suicide if they took her horse. So they left her alone. And then when they tried to take her and move her, her mother put her foot down and said, "No, you're not taking my child from her home." But that's what they do with what they perceive as rebellious teenagers that don't follow their Mennonite way of life. And it's really quite an interview. I was really up in arms about it a couple days ago. I'm just really irritated by this. What they did to these kids. I mean, telling her that she couldn't use big words because it was prideful, and it was oh my God. Because female, right? Females can't use big words, right? That's prideful. Oh my God.
I think it was Sam Harris that said, if you want to know a religion, look to its extremists.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they're the ones that are taking it literally.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get this linked. It's a Cults to Consciousness. And have you listened to anything on this channel? There's a whole lot on it.
I don't know it, but I will check it out.
Yeah, definitely subscribe. I don't know how it came to me. My YouTube algorithm brought it to me. But Cults to Consciousness. Let's see here. She does all kinds of stuff. Chromall. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Sins of the Amish. 163 siblings, 14 mothers. What? All kinds of stuff on religious cults. And all the crap that they do. My dad's sister wife. Oh my goodness. Yep.
And that's
Right.
that's an example. If they actually get their way, almost all these are male-dominated religions.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean,
Yeah, and there was a whole lot of abuse of children in these cults that goes in all directions, all kinds of abuse.
you want to be disgusted, watch the videos on how to not spare the rod, where they have the doll up there and they're showing you how to properly use the rod. This is in church.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. Garbage that is based in this fucking Christian worldview that is somehow pervaded. I mean, somebody was talking to me today, and they said, "Good luck not being Christian influenced in our society." I mean, it is just so pervasive, and it's such a ridiculous story. It's not even a good book. The fiction sucks.
You know what Dave was just now saying about having demonstrations of spanking up on stage and everything.
Yeah.
Those Bill Gothard institute for youth conflicts and things like that. They even have these seminars where some old preacher guy will get up there and ask for a parent to volunteer one of their children to get up on stage so he can demonstrate how to properly spank your kid on that live human child. And they even taken this child who's 9, maybe 8, 7, putting him across his knee, which is so creepy, and then either using a hand or using a stick, but he doesn't do it hard. He just kind of taps him, but that whole thing is just sick as fuck.
But he's touching their butts.
Yeah, with an object that and just having that kid across your lap. That's just
Oh my God.
so stupid. So dangerous too, and it's abusive. I'm sure the boy thinks he's being a model child, and of course he's getting the kind of oohs and ahs and ahs, from the audience. But still, it's just sick. Those people, sick.
Yeah. So I want to go on record here as saying that Christianity's got to go. It's got to go. Just whatever we can do to start to stamp this out over the course of the next, I think it's going to take 200 years. It's got to fucking go. Got to help us as to what's going to be replaced with, because I've recently encountered a few woo heads that are basically into other things that are
One of the
better.
One of the gurus I listened to said 50 years.
I hope so.
These major religions are going to fall apart.
Yep.
Well, that's like saying, we're going to have, these really incredible, long-lasting batteries, and we just need to keep working on the technology for 5 years.
Yeah.
Of course, the perpetual motion machine or other promises were the cold fusion. Give it 5-10 years, we'll have it down, and we just never seem to get there.
You want to be disgusted on the science and technology front. I was listening to one of the people in the government give a big long talk at a hearing about, well, these batteries aren't good enough, and this isn't good enough, and this. So basically, we need to scrap all this. And it's like, I try to remind people, it's like, the first cars were nothing but toys for rich people.
Yeah.
And you know what? You couldn't go anywhere with it because there weren't any roads.
Infrastructure.
And how am I supposed to do this and that with an electric car? And it's like, people wondered that 100 so years ago with these cars. What good is it? Well, if I put a road, I can drive down the road. Hey, and if I put a road to the next town, I can. And you know what? Along the way, they're going to need air pumps and gas and oil, and all these businesses sprang up. But we don't want to do that with electric cars because they're scary.
My son has a Tesla, and I've never seen such a wonderful car. I mean, that thing is so goddamn safe and so efficient and so quiet, and you can't smell it when you start it up in the garage. You can leave it running in the garage, for hours, and it won't kill you. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And if
So
you have a market,
garden hose through your window, it's not going to do anything.
Nope. No.
if you have a market and the market's going to say, you know what, I want my battery to last longer. I want my battery to be cheaper. I want it to be able to change at a lower cost if it goes bad. You're going to get better products at a lower price. Just look at everything. Look at cell phones, computers, big screen TVs. All this technology is getting better and better and cheaper and cheaper. It's becoming available. I was telling somebody, I bought my first computer. It was $3,500, and it didn't do hardly anything. Floppy disk, dial up, right back in the Stone Age. Okay, now you can get one that blows that away for a couple $100.
we were selling 8K memory boards when I started in computers for $800. That's 8,000 bytes of RAM. You couldn't put a resume on that thing.
That's what, yeah. If people just say, "Hey, I would love an electric car, but it has to go another 200 miles an hour on a charge," they're going to say, "You know what? We got customers that need 200 more miles on that charge. We're going to figure out a way to get 200 more miles on that charge."
Yeah, the other thing about my son's Tesla is if you step on the gas, you will smoke 99% of the cars on the road. Just completely leave them behind. Just gone, just like that. It's got some other features. I think he told me that if somebody broke into his car, he could hit a button, lock the doors, and the thing will drive to the nearest police station.
The one model has cameras all around in it, pinhole cameras.
Yeah, it has cameras all the way around it. You can
Yeah.
see every
Yeah.
which way. It's unbelievable. And like when he looks in the rear at his rear camera, you can see just the widest angle. There's no blind spots. It's just an incredible car. If something runs out in front of you, it hits the brakes.
And just
I
for
mean,
the record, Elon did not invent that. He
Yeah, okay.
bought the company,
I don't like
and he
Elon
may have
much.
done all kind of stuff with the company, but he doesn't invent things.
Yeah, I hate to promote anything from that fucker, but
Yeah, basically he follows the Hair Club for Men model where the president of the company gets on there and says, "I liked the product so much, I bought the company."
Yep.
So
And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind. People can do business, and a lot of people do this, and they improve inventions and everything else. But don't take credit for inventing the electric car that was already a Tesla company before you bought it.
no, we aren't saying that, Icarus. Trump would never lie to you.
no, he's as honest
No,
as the day
Trump's
is
another
long.
one. You know what he wants? He wants to bring back 1950s cars because they were big and steel and they protected you better. No clue at all. There's a reason those cars are still around and the owners aren't.
Yeah. And they didn't have seat belts, and almost every accident was fatal.
He wants to bring
Yeah.
back 1950s cars and 1920s dictators.
Yeah. He has no clue that, yeah, there's a reason those big cars only took a little dent because the body took all the impact. So, yeah, the car was just fine. You weren't, but the car was
Yeah.
little ding ding, tap out that nice steel with a hammer,
Well, that
put
keeps
a
the
little
resale
buff on
value
it,
high.
good to go. Yeah, he has no clue why those cars are still around.
Those cars collapsed and killed people just like incredibly fast. I mean, the modern cars, the front end collapses, but the passenger compartment
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
Those old cars, they folded the passengers up first. The passengers were the first thing to get folded in an accident.
I had a customer that was in a head-on, full-blown, the worst type of accident. Car was, I mean, there's no way if you saw this car, you'd think there's no way anybody survived. He
Yeah.
walked away without a scratch.
Yep. Hey, we got to wrap it up. I've got another meeting here very shortly, and I just wanted to bring something up. I have 12 victims watching right now. I have entered into something called psychedelic therapy, and I want to talk about it a bit online. And is there any interest in listening to what you go through, basically, in changing your brain, changing your mind, changing your habits, changing what plagues you, neuroses, psychoses, whatever. Not that I have a hell of a lot that I can complain about, but anyway, I'm interested in talking a bit about this online and it's a, would you say unproven therapy? There's a hell of a lot of research coming out in the last 10 to 20 years, and it's like there are tons of new papers being written on it, and people are psychologists are really excited about this new kind of therapy that they're coming up with, and I would like to talk about some of that because I think it's had an effect on me. And I know you two are just naysayers, aren't you?
Who, me?
Well, I don't
Hey, I'm not a naysayer.
Not a naysayer. Are you a naysayer, Dave?
I'm not a naysayer. I'm in.
I don't need
I
no
just figure,
stinking psychedelic therapy.
next time we can do some tarot cards and some psychedelic therapy,
Yeah, we can combine the two.
and then have Satan come in and try to do the therapy on us.
Yeah, because Satan gets in your brain through psychedelics. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, but anyway, so nothing from chat. Nothing from chat. You guys slow to respond. That's okay. But if you want to leave a comment, and
Well, you always got to wait a few because there's always a delay. So
I know there's a delay. Yeah, there's about a 1 minute delay. But I've been on this odyssey, and it's something incredible is happening in my life. And the last time something incredible happened was 16 years ago when I sobered up. And now this new incredible thing is happening to me, and I feel compelled to talk about it.
well, we're glad you're sobered up and you're still with us. So we're looking
Yeah.
forward to hear what else you got to say.
Yeah, I might actually live for a few years more, So one of the things I'm working on is changing my body now. And because I'm trying to get ready for I'll probably get killed next year either by a bear, or I'll fall off a cliff, or hit my head on a rock, or get stuck in a bog in northern Minnesota. But I'm trying to get into a training program that sets me up so I can do a little exploration of the geology and the botany of the northern Minnesota, which is pretty
That
incredible.
sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Dave loves the nature.
Yep. It'll be
I was
pretty
out
cool.
last night looking for the UFOs, and it was nice and quiet, and it was just the bugs singing in chorus. And my wife says, after a while that starts to bug me, and it's like I can listen to it every day. It hasn't started to bug me yet.
The crickets and the frogs out there are just incredible. Particularly, we're in a real heat wave right now, and they're just going nuts out there.
Yeah,
I found
like
out
it when they do that pulsing, droning sound where it's
Yeah.
mine.
so
I didn't know frogs said eek. My frog, if I startle it, it says eek.
Really?
Yeah.
An eek frog. Oh, nice.
It eeks, and then it jumps into the water if I walk up, don't surprise it, we're cool. I can get real close to it. But if I startle it, it says eek, and I was like, I didn't know a frog said eek.
startle responses in common
How does it-
frogs.
How does it jump in the water, though? Doesn't it just have to put one toe in at a time? I mean, it can't just jump in the water, right? I mean, how did that evolve? Yeah.
It mutated in the sewers.
How did eek evolve? I don't get it. I don't understand this evolution.
Man, when I covered Ahmed on the evolution thingy there, he actually brought up they want us to believe that if you radiate somebody or something, you're going to have X-Men with lasers out their eyes, and it's
Oh
like,
my God.
and Kent Hovind, proof of evolution for Kent Hovind would be a cow born with a jet engine on its back.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said. It's like, oh well, okay. Gee, that's why I could never, ever get involved in a debate with any of those people.
I don't know. I grew up on a farm, and you have a barn, and you have a bunch of cows in a stall, and they're all sitting there, they're munching on hay, and when you walk behind the cow, you walk behind their butts, right? And every now and then, one of them will cough and shit at the same time. I'm telling you, you do not want to be behind that cow. And if I've ever seen a jet engine on a cow, that was the day. I was showering for hours. It was like the worst experience of my farm kid life, I'll tell you.
Well,
Yeah.
before you go, I'm almost at 200 subs. I only need a couple
Alright.
more. So if anybody's out there hasn't
Sub to
subbed to my
Dave.
channel yet, I'm almost to 200, and I'd love to have a celebration stream. So
Well, let's put that out, and can you? I'm gonna do it for you. There's Captive Desk. I'm gonna put that out in chat. Go subscribe to this right away if you have not
I don't know
subscribed.
what I did something right, and my I picked up like 20 subscribers. So
Yeah, you're picking up a lot of views too, so you're coming up. That's cool. I did everything I could for you last night. I watched to the very end of your show, which also helps. And like you on both my accounts. So anyway,
you guys are awesome, and if you didn't see my fan art, YouTube Punk made me some fan art.
Oops.
We were very touched. He did a fan art for the Grassman Chronicles. You can check it out on my community tab. Much
Oh.
love to YouTube Punk. That was just so awesome.
do you have a
And,
link to your Grassman Chronicles on your?
I have. Yeah, there's a video on my channel that says we're moving the Grassman Chronicles, and there's a link on there.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just do like Bigfoot deals tarot cards to demons or something, that would probably be the trifecta that gets you just like, up into the million range.
We don't want to move over there till everything's set up. So little
Yeah.
by little, we've been working on the channel, so it's all fixed up and it's got all the bells and whistles. And we're gonna we want to do like a collage for the banner of all the beasties we've covered, and then like stick our pictures in there, something really cool. So it's all set up, and then we'll have the big move. So
Here we go, Grassman Chronicles. Let me.
it's getting. I think it's got about 20 subs now. So we're getting people over there.
Yep, I'm subbed.
But Trees and I have lots of plans for the channel, and with lots of fun things planned. So that's another thing we have a lot of fun with. Trees is awesome. We talk a lot. We text back and forth. We plan. And I'll tell you what, Trees was on it the day after the last show. He was already asking me, hey, what are we doing for this month? Have you made your picks yet? So we make a good team. I really like working with him. And all hail Bigfoot. We have many episodes to come.
Okay, let's shoot this in the head.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Goodbye, everybody out there in chat, and thank you for listening.
Indeed.
Our ranting. Okay, goodbye, cruel world.
Bye.